By the time you're watching this video, you've probably been practicing for the UCAT for a long time. You've probably done a lot of work, and now it's about transitioning all that work and preparation into results on exam day. Because some people, despite all the work they put in, score 200 lower on the actual exam day than their metaphor mandatory mocks. And some people score 200 higher. The key is now in the mindset. And so this will be a short video which details the key mindset considerations, things that you can do now, things that you can do on the day of the exam and during the exam itself to make sure that you are an overachiever and match your exam scores to Metafy, if not exceed your Metafy and mandatory scores on actual test day. So we're going to talk about some things that you can do within your preparation itself, first of all. So the key with the preparation is to do mock exams so you're familiar with what the test is like, the exact format, the questions that pop up. I think the sweet spot for most people is around 10 to 20 exams. Beyond that, the real returns are diminishing. So if you do 100 exams, I'm not sure that's the most efficient way of studying. But I think once you've done 10 exams, then you should be pretty confident that you know exactly how the exam works. And what you're aiming for is you're aiming for three consecutive exam scores at your target score. So if you're targeting a 2450, you want three exams in a row above that 2,450 mark. Now, sometimes there's just a ridiculously hard exam. So if you're, most of the time above that mark, say 5 out of 6 or 6 out of 8 times you're above 2,450, that's pretty reasonable too. The point of that is to give yourself evidence and confidence so you can go in and very clearly say to yourself, I know exactly what this exam will be like. I've done it before, and this is no different from what I have done previously and done well in. Now, people will do their exams, the bulk of those at home or in a study space, but try and have at least one of these exams in a public area, whether that be a library, whether that be other people around you. Aim to emulate the test day experience. Some companies allow you to sort of go in and do a simulated exam. Now, you don't need to pay for that necessarily, but it's good to have that experience of doing the test in an environment where there's high pressure, where there's other people around you, and it's not every practice exam just in your own room itself. So those are things that you can do about preparation, and it's all about having confidence in your head. Now, different people have different pre-exam routines with what they like to do. But for me, on the day before the exam, I have a lighter study day. I basically call it a half day, where after about 5 p.m., I'm not really doing much studying just because I want myself to be fresh on that day of the exam. On the day of the exam, I generally do no work prior and I just rock up to my exam itself. It's worthwhile noting that the time of your exam should also be ideally the time that you do most of your practice exams. So if your actual exam is booked for 7 p.m. at night, try and do your practice exams at 7 p.m. at least a few times so you're actually used to practicing at that time of day. Now, on exam day, people like to get there early, but just be ready to start whenever you actually get there. Hopefully, you have a clear mindset. Different people like different practices with regard to things like breathing techniques, music, and stress reduction. So try and find something that works. If it's been an issue for you in the past and you don't have any of these techniques, then try one out. Just search up a simple breathing exercise tutorial on YouTube. But on the exam day itself, my thinking is that, all right, I've got a few practice exams before, I've hit the target. Now this is just going to be the exact same thing. I've done it in different environments. Now I'm just going to do it one more time and show the examiners, show everyone that all the work I put in is worth it for this moment. People can put additional pressure on themselves. If you're thinking, this I only have one chance at this UCAT. If I stuff it up, it's a whole year. I can't afford to make any mistakes. Every mistake I make is costing me my chance at medicine and my dream career. That's going to put a lot of pressure on you. So just be mindful of the thoughts that you're having and calm yourself down. I personally have the mindset that this is no different to another mock. The questions will be similar, everything will be basically the exact same. So I treat it like a mock exam. Now, during the exam itself, you need to have damage control strategies. Getting one question wrong will not cost you your exam if you don't make it limit your timing or your mindset. Now, here's what I mean. Let's say you're doing VR and you notice that there's a passage which is 8 paragraphs long. Now, you can have the mindset and say, all right, in my practice, I've been targeting 38 out of 44 on VR. I don't normally skip sets, so I'm going to, try and get all these questions right. And if that passage then takes you 4 minutes, you are 2 minutes behind, you're going to start rushing all the other questions, and then you're in trouble. Okay. So questions can only be damaging if you spend too much time on it or they impact your mindset. If you have the mindset and say, okay, there's going to be hard questions on the exam, when difficult, time consuming questions arise, I'll skip them and leave them to the end. That way, no matter what happens, I've controlled the damage of that question type. You'll be fine if you stick to that. The people who really make mistakes are people who get sucked in and spend too much time on the question, or they only realize too late and then they realize in retrospect, oh, I got that wrong. Oh, I spent too much time on that. Oh, I'm stuffing it up. And if you're in your own head as you're doing the exam, that when it starts to impact you. Additionally, no matter how verbal reasoning goes, maybe you feel like you absolutely butchered it. You need to put that behind you and then move on to decision making and just keep your focus on the question type that you're doing. Use those 1 minute breaks to calm yourself down, take deep breaths, and actually focus exactly on what the subtest is that you're doing. If you're thinking about the previous subtest or your attention is in the wrong spot, that's when things go wrong and you start making silly mistakes. Okay. So ultimately, mindset on the UCAT is about doing well in practice and then using that as evidence to perform on exam day, and then limiting the impacts of things like timing and putting additional pressure on yourself. It's about doing well in practice and having damage prevention control strategies in place on the day. And if you follow those things, then you increase the likelihood dramatically that the scores that you get on the actual UCAT will reflect all the work you've put in, if not exceed that. Because this is the key time now where it differentiates people who have those stress managing capabilities versus the people who are academically quite capable but really feel the pressure on exam day. And that's quite a significant portion of people. Now, if you want to talk further about this mindset, if part of this preparation has got you asking questions or you feel like you could be doing it better, click the link in the description. I'm happy to organize a call with you and ask and answer as many questions as you have. But I'm hoping this at least got you thinking about the mindset side of the exam, which people neglect so often. And people are practicing the actual questions and strategies, but make sure you're actually making a conscious effort to think about what's your mindset going to be like, how you manage the stress. If things don't go as planned, what is your backup plan just to make sure you can still keep the questions ticking over and keep getting things right. All the very best for the exam. It's the hardest thing I've ever done, I think, sitting the UCAT, but it feels good when you are done with it and it feels good when you do well with it. So all the very best and check out future videos for more information. Check the link in the description as well. Cheers, guys.